It's almost that time of year again. We're about ready to go back to school. I know, it's terrifying. But for many of us gamers, that offers one question, especially those heading off to college. How am I supposed to balance schoolwork and still have time for gaming? Well, lucky for you, as a college senior, I've been there and I've done that. So in this video, I'm going to help you find ways to balance schoolwork while also still having time for video games. Roll the intro. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Mr. Rogers LT, and today we are talking about, well, a little bit of a controversial topic, especially when we're talking about parents and their children. And that is playing video games while away at college and how to balance that schoolwork and, well, playing video games. Now, the reality of the situation is that there is no one giant solution that just fits every single situation. I'm going to kind of break it down into three different situations. And that is those people who are playing video games and creating online content with the goal of that being their future career, that they are doing that full time, they have no other job. Then there is the second group of people, those who create online content and play video games, but don't expect it to be their full source of income. They still want to make money doing it, but by no means do they expect to be able to support themselves fully by doing this. Maybe they're just doing it on the side to earn an extra really nice vacation a year. And by the way, that is a completely valid reason to be playing video games and going ahead and creating online content. Then we have our last group, and those are the people that just play video games because they like them. They aren't trying to earn any money. They maybe post a YouTube video, but really just for fun. And again, that is a completely valid reason to play video games. You don't have to make any money doing it at all for it to be a valid reason. So those are the three kind of categories in which I'm placing video game players into. Full-time professionals, side hobbyists trying to earn some extra money, and just people who play for fun. With that in mind, let's move into kind of how we're going to balance schoolwork with, playing video games. So the main thing I want to point out here is that school should always be your number one priority in this situation. College is an incredible opportunity to better yourself. It is not cheap by any means. Even if you're going to community college, which can be cheaper, it's still not what I would consider super cheap. And what you are doing is you are investing in yourself to be a better version at the end of your college education. At the end of your college education, you should have skills that are necessary to market yourself as a high demand employee for whoever you are going to be working for, in whatever field you are going to be working for. This means that everyone is going to have a little bit of a different college experience and what they want to get out of it. It all depends on what you want to do post-college. That is why earlier in this video, we talked about the three different groups of video game players and what they fall into. If you fall into that first category, you should be using college to get a degree and also take classes that are going to help you pursue full-time content creation in the video game industry. This could be graphic design classes. This could be programming classes. After all, the YouTube algorithm is based in computer science. That's how it is done. It could be computer engineering. It could be sound design. It could be lighting design. It could be theater. There are a million different majors and classes that you can take that are going to help provide you the skills necessary in order to make it as a full-time content creator. At the same time as you are investing in yourself and learning these new skills that are going to help you be a full-time content creator, you are also giving yourself a backup plan. I know that it is sometimes very discouraging to hear the word backup plan, but don't see it as a discouragement. See it as the understanding that sometimes plans either change or they take a while to take shape. There is no harm in wanting to be a full-time content creator, but having to work a job to provide for yourself at the current point in time. There is nothing wrong with that. And going to college and focusing on your schoolwork is going to be able to allow you to both provide for yourself and also give yourself the skills necessary to be a better content creator. For those people in the middle, you are still going to be able to learn skills that are going to help you be a better content creator. Maybe that's going to be your minor. Maybe your minor is going to be graphic design so you can make the best YouTube thumbnails of all time, or something along the likes of that. But then you also have your major, which is going to be what you're doing full time. And so now you have skills to help on your side hobby, as well as a ton of skills to make for your main job to be very, very successful. And again, you're going to be successful because of it. And if you just play video games for fun, well, you're going to have a job eventually. So to go to college and get the skills necessary to be a better employee in whatever field you're going to go into is very necessary. But there's also good news for you in college, that there's video game clubs. There's other people just like you who are passionate about it, and well, maybe that's not your major, but maybe you can join a club that's going to not only improve your skill, but make lifelong friends. So now that I've gone over kind of the three groups and kind of what their focus and outlook should be on what they should get from college, we still have that question of how are we going to balance, video games, content creation, and schoolwork. All right, so the first tip on how to balance schoolwork and video game playing is to make a schedule. You only have so much time in your day, and if you just go about and just kind of wing it all the time, you're going to end up procrastinating. Trust me, it's college. You will procrastinate. You'll end up prioritizing the wrong things, and if you just do not make a schedule, you are not going to be as productive as you need be. And when you aren't as productive as you need be, if you're putting school first, there's going to be less time for video games. So what I like to do is I like to utilize a planner. Go ahead, write down when all of your class periods are. Make sure that you have all of your homework done and on that planner, and then as you get it done, just check it off one by one by one, and once you are done, then you're free. You have nothing more to do. The other thing that kind of goes ahead with making a schedule is make sure you schedule in time to work on projects that aren't due for a while yet. College is a lot of projects. It's a lot of things that are going to take weeks, if not months, to complete. It's best to start on them early. If you start on them early, they never overwhelm you, and you don't have to pull an all-nighter to be able to do them. But on this schedule, make sure that you put in time for rest and relaxation to do whatever it is that you find to be fun. In this case, since you're watching this video, it's probably to make online content or play video games. When you're studying, say you have an hour on that schedule for studying, spend an hour studying, an hour playing video games to reset your mind, take a little stress break, and then go back to studying again. It breaks up that studying where now you've studied for maybe 2 hours, but it doesn't really feel like it because you played video games for an hour in between. This is something that I found works really, really well for me, and honestly, I think it might work pretty well for you too. But making that schedule that you know when you're going to be working on things, when you have class, when you have work, when you're going to socialize with your friends, it really, really, really helps. Now, one note on the schedule is be okay with kind of changing that schedule when things come up. If you have free time and you're like, yo, I'm gonna just rest and play video games, but your best friend asks you to go get a smoothie, you might want to go get a smoothie. Like, you need to be okay with kind of changing things around every once in a while when things come up. But do try and stick to that schedule when it's, serious things and big, very important things like project deadlines, class, and those kinds of things, it's going to make it so much easier for you to find that time to play video games and to create online content. The second tip that I have for you is one that most college kids fall victim to, and that is skipping class. Under no circumstances should you ever skip class to play video games, create YouTube content, stream on Twitch, do any of those things. You are paying immense amounts of money. Even if you're on a scholarship, you're still earned that scholarship and you don't want to throw it away. You are paying so much money to have those classes and learn those skills. Don't throw them away. Show up to class. Now, if you're sick, if you're running a fever, I understand we're in the middle of a pandemic. Do not go to class. Stay home, rest, take medicine, go to the doctor, do whatever you need to do to get healthy. But do not skip class just because you don't want to. It is extremely easy to do, and it is a very slippery slope. Once you do it once, it's super easy to do it again. And every time you do it, it just gets easier and easier and easier. Do not just skip class because you don't want to go and you want to do something else. Remember what I talked about earlier in this video. Find the purpose. Find the skills that you are learning in that class and always think how you are going to apply them to what you are passionate about, what you want to do in your life. This is going to make going to class easier. And you may be wondering, well, how does this make time for playing video games? You're telling me, go to class. That's taking time away from doing this. It actually provides you more time. When you skip class, if you have an hour-long class and you skip it to play an hour of video games, you're probably going to spend 3, 4, 5 hours on the back end trying to make up for that lost class time. It does not pay to skip class under any circumstances except the legitimate ones that I don't have to say because you know them. You're going to have to do makeup work. You're going to be lost. You're going to be behind. And guess what? 99% of college professors are not going to hold your hand and say, oh yeah, you missed class here, I'll help you out. You're going to probably have to go into their office hours if you can't understand it on your own, which most of the time you won't. And they may or may not be willing to spend enough time with you to be able to fully do it. Professors are very busy. They teach a lot of classes, and most of them are in research, especially at bigger institutions anyway. So by skipping class for 1 hour to do something, you're really on the back end giving up 5 hours to do something. So give up 1 hour and learn a bunch of stuff that can be beneficial for you, or skip class and have to make up to 5 hours of work trying to catch back up that now you're probably not going to learn that skill as well as you would have if you just went to class in the first place. So yes, number 2, do not skip class. Number 3 goes kind of back to number 1, and this is to prioritize what you are doing. Do not just kind of do whatever you want willy-nilly. You have to prioritize. And this prioritizing is going to help you make your schedule and allot time for that. So, school is your first priority. It's expensive, it's your first priority, and as I've said multiple times, you will gain so much out of it. Even if you want to be a full-time YouTube content creator, full-time streamer, you are going to get something out of college that is more than worth your money, so long as you are willing to put in the effort to do so. So, that being said, focus on your schoolwork. Focus on finding those ways in your schoolwork to apply them to Twitch, apply them to YouTube, apply them to whatever you are passionate about and doing. This doesn't just apply for gaming, but I'm a gaming channel, so that's what we're talking about here. So school should be your first priority. Second priority should be your family, friends, and your relationships. We are social beings, and you have to maintain those. You have to be able to have friends. You have to have people that you need to go to when you are feeling down. content creation and video games can be very lonely. They can be immensely social, but they can also be extremely lonely. You need to have those people in real life that you can go to, that you can talk to, that you can hang out, and do not sacrifice those relationships just to sit and play video games. I know it can be tough, and I know not everyone is an extrovert. I'm an introvert myself, but I still have those relationships, those friends, those people, my girlfriend that I always consistently go to when I need to talk to people. And I go to them daily. I always have social interaction every single day. So that needs to be your next priority. Make sure you're doing schoolwork. Make sure you're having a social life, whatever you choose for that to be. And then it should be pursuing your passion. And if you're watching this video, gaming, content creation is probably your passion. Find time for it. That is important. Do not let anyone tell you that it is not important to pursue your passion. Hopefully, the school and the passion are connected to each other. And as I've said so many times, if they aren't, try and find a way to connect them. It's going to make you happier and more productive. And then your friends and your family and your relationships should be supporting you in the pursuit of your passion. These three things all go together. They are not each out on their own. So that third one is, find that time. Set that schedule. Go ahead and find the time to play the video games, to make the YouTube videos, to stream on Twitch. But as I said in that first tip, schedule it out. Know when you're going to do it. It'll help relax you. It'll help de-stress you. It'll make you happy. It's time to connect with people that you've probably left at home because these are all your buddies that you play video games with that are now going to other colleges. So make sure that you do set aside that time to pursue your passion and pursue it. If you're going to go ahead and have this passion and put aside the time, schedule the time to do it, give it your best effort during that time. Make sure you do that. And finally, the fourth tip I have is get rest. You should not be burning the candle at both ends. It is so easy to get 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep a night. And I know you can say, well, I can do it. Listen, it catches up to you eventually. When I was 18 and a freshman in college, 5 hours of sleep, I could get up and be just fine. Sophomore year turned into 6. Junior year, I was pushing 8. And now, if I don't get more than 8 hours of sleep in a day, I am dragging the next day. And I know you can say, well, you're just getting old. Yeah, I'm only almost 22. So like the push to always be awake and just put in 18, 19, 20-hour days is not worth it. And all of these tips that I've put out before you are going to help you be efficient enough that you can get rest. And when you get rest, you are more efficient and therefore can get more rest. So you kind of see how this is a domino effect. So if you want time to play video games, make sure you're sleeping enough because you're going to be wide enough awake at school to actually learn this stuff. You're going to be motivated to go to class. You're going to get your homework done faster. And you're just going to have more time to play video games and create online content that you will also be pumping out faster because you have sleep and you are not tired. And finally, my last tip is to always get help. Do not go through college or any schooling alone. There are people that want to help you. If you show up to class and ask for help, you will graduate college. I do not care how smart you think you are. I do not care how smart other people think you are. If you show up to class, you put in the effort, and you ask for help, you will pass college and graduate. And when I say ask for help, I don't mean my paper's due tomorrow, I haven't started, let's email the professor and see if they'll help me by actually doing it for me. No, they aren't going to do that, and they're more likely to actually just straight up fail you because they know you didn't try, and you're offending them by pretending like you can just go ahead and try at the last minute. Actually ask for help. Don't look to cheat. Ask for help. Learn how to ask for help. Go in, email your professors, go into their office hours, let them know you. It'll help tremendously in the long run. If you can just ask for help, you will be more efficient, you'll get more schoolwork done faster, and then have more time for video games. So if you haven't caught the general gist of this video, it is if you prioritize, you schedule your time, and you focus on schoolwork, you are going to have more than enough time for content creation and playing video games. The more you procrastinate, the more you play video games, instead of doing that other stuff, you're actually going to have less time. If you just follow these simple tips, if you just make a schedule, if you stick to it, if you prioritize schoolwork, you're going to have time for video games. Trust me, I'm involved in a ton of stuff. I've taken 18 credits. I'm a computer science major. That is not easy. I have had a project before that I worked on over 40 hours for one homework assignment in computer science. One homework assignment, over 40 hours. It was supposed to be just like, this wasn't some big project either. No, this was like, oh, here's your bi-weekly homework over 40 hours. I was still able to play video games that week because I prioritized, because I had it broken up, because I was getting sleep enough to be efficient when I was awake. You follow these tips, you're going to be able to play video games at college, get good grades, make your parents happy, make yourself happy, and open up a tremendous amount of doors for yourself in whatever field, whatever passion, whatever dream you have is entirely achievable if you follow these guidelines onto how to balance those passions, in which this case is gaming, and schoolwork in college or just school in general. I hope you found this video useful. If you do, please leave a like and subscribe, as well as you can find me on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If you have any other questions specifically to you, hop in that Twitch. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Till next time, everybody. Have a great day.